Season's greetings, everybody. So you may ask yourself, all 7 of my subscribers so far, where's Dan? What has he done this summer? It's been a long time since he's posted a video. Well, I've been busy. I should say we've been busy. Deborah and I have been busy because I took over her shop space, so she needed her own space. Hence, we spent the summer building a she shed. We have had a very interesting summer. We both got laid off from our good paying jobs that allowed us to have a lot of time to do extra activities. Deborah took the summer off and went touring through Italy, and I went back to working part-time, full-time for the ambulance service that I work for, where I work twice as much and earn half the pay. Isn't that just joyous? So as you can see, we situated the she shed off the end of the existing shop. Just to save some space and some common wall, save some costs on that. We still got to do some of the trim work because, as you can also see, it's now winter here and paint doesn't go on well at 10 below zero. It currently is. So I take you a little tour on the she shed and the process that we did to build the she shed and some of the reasonings why we did it, and this tour of the she shed video. So we started with the 2x6 floor joists on top of concrete pilings secured to the existing wall. We then insulated the floor with rigid insulation, all glued and taped in place. Up went the north wall, pre-sheeted. Then the same process for the south wall. The main beams were then placed on top of both of the walls. And the east wall had to be framed in place to support the main center beam. 2 roof joists were in place to form the roof line along that wall, and then the east wall could be sheeted in. The remainder of the roof joists were placed and sheeting completed on the east wall, and that ended up with the framing now being done. Thank God for that. Next step was to apply strapping to support the metal roof, which I'm up there doing now. So we hired our friend Brandon from Aspen Siding to apply his standing seam roofing. Brandon just does excellent quality work. Highly recommend him. We then went on with the electrical wiring. We planned it and installed it. Ran the runs from the existing shop. And Deborah started working on installing the insulation and the poly on the inside. Yeah, she was happy to see me, but that is just a ladder between her legs. Drywall board went up next, but thank God that Deborah did all of the mudding and taping, because I really don't like doing that. We wanted the ceiling to contrast the drywall, so we used ranch panel as an inexpensive alternative to cedar boarding. We created most of our trim moldings ourselves, and Deborah stained, and then I installed them. So while Deborah was working on painting the inside, I turned my attention to the outside, the exterior items, such as vapor barrier, windows, doors, soffits, and electrical. So we got the outside all bundled up and wrapped up, and we're all well insulated. Next, I turned my sights back on the inside, started with the laminate flooring with more insulation and vapor barrier, along with some of the electrical trim items. Fancy lights. Deb wanted a big deck for outside afternoon teas. Okay, maybe even for evening wine events. So we did that. Worked out to be a very good, nice, large deck with good views. We did the exterior sheeting next. We used the same ranch panel that we used on the ceiling. And we had some warm days, so Deb was actually able to get it painted on the outside, on the exterior sheeting. And the exterior trim was then painted inside the shop because it got cold, and we applied that. This is the desk / work table for Deb that we built. So some of the interior trim items I went back to work on, like the passageway and installing Deb's worktop, along with the TV and the electronics for her workout videos. We ended up shingling the gable end, and voila, she was done.
You know what I really hate? It's when you pull the Vibrasonic toothbrush out of your mouth before it's done. All that spit and toothpaste goo goes everywhere.